1,000 feet above the French Alps, a dog and his human are flying together. Not in a plane, not in a helicopter, just flying. Free as birds, calm as clouds, defying everything you think you know about what's possible. This is Uka, and this is the story of how a broken shelter dog became the most zen flying companion you've ever seen. But it almost never happened, because 3 families had already given up on him. 3 families who couldn't see past his restless energy to the wild soul that was crying out for something more, something bigger, something that would literally lift him above the ordinary world. My name is Shams. I'm a paragliding pilot, and I'm about to tell you how I found my co-pilot in the most unexpected place. A French animal shelter, barking dogs and concrete kennels, and in the corner, one dog who'd been returned not once, not twice, but 3 times. The volunteers whispered about him. Too energetic, they said, too demanding, needs too much exercise, not suitable for normal families. But when I looked into Uka's eyes, I didn't see a problem dog. I saw a kindred spirit, a Nordic breed built for mountains, for snow, for endless adventures, trapped in a world that wanted him to be a couch potato. I saw myself. You see, I'd been paragliding for 15 years. I knew what it felt like to be misunderstood, to need something that others couldn't provide. I needed the mountains. I needed the sky. I needed freedom. And looking at Uka, I realized maybe he did too. The first weeks were a revelation. This dog who'd been labeled too much for 3 families, he wasn't too much. He was exactly enough. Exactly what he was meant to be. 2 to 3 hours of hiking every day. Mountain trails that would exhaust most humans. Rocky paths that seemed impossible to navigate. And Uka, he came alive. Every step up the mountain, every breath of thin air, every challenging climb, he was becoming himself again. But I had an idea, a crazy idea that most people would think was impossible. I'd seen a few other pilots flying with their dogs, just a few. It's not common. Most people think it's insane, but I knew something others didn't. If you understand your dog, if you understand the sky, if you take it step by step, miracles can happen. So I started testing, not in the air, that would come later. First, I needed to know, could Uka handle the sensation of being lifted? Could he stay calm when the ground disappeared beneath his paws? Some dogs panic when they feel restrained. Uka? He stood perfectly still as I fitted him with his custom flying gear, like he knew we were preparing for something extraordinary. I raised him just inches off the ground. His body remained relaxed, his breathing steady. He trusted me completely. I let him feel the pull of the paraglider wing on flat ground. Instead of fear, I saw curiosity, interest, like he was thinking, what's next? And then came the moment, our first flight together. 3 seconds in the air, that's all. 3 seconds of shared weightlessness. I watched his face, felt his body language. No panic, no struggle, just acceptance. Like he'd been waiting his whole life for this feeling. 30 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Each flight he grew more confident, more relaxed, more himself. Now, when we climbed to our launch point, I can see the change in him. This dog who couldn't even walk on mountain rocks when I first adopted him, now moves like a mountain goat, leaping from boulder to boulder, finding paths where others see only obstacles. And when we launch, when we step off the edge of the world together, he becomes the calmest creature you've ever seen. 1,000 feet above the earth, suspended in nothing but air and trust. And he's more peaceful than most humans are on solid ground. People ask me all the time, isn't it dangerous? Isn't it crazy? But here's what they don't understand. The real danger would have been leaving Uka in a world that didn't fit him. The real craziness would have been trying to force a mountain soul into a living room life. Sometimes the most radical thing you can do is simply see someone for who they truly are, and then give them the space to become it. The truth is, Uka didn't just learn to fly with me. He taught me to fly in a completely different way. Before him, flying was about escape, about getting away from the world below. Now it's about connection, about trust so deep that you can literally trust someone with your life, about finding the exact person or dog who was meant to share your sky. We found each other at the exact moment we both needed saving. I was going through the toughest time of my life. He'd been abandoned by 3 families who couldn't see his worth. But sometimes the universe has a plan. Sometimes the broken pieces fit together in ways that make you both whole. Today, Uka and I fly together regularly. 5 to 10 minutes in the air, floating above the French Alps like we were born to do it. The landing is so smooth, so gentle, that his paws and my feet touch the ground together, softer than stepping out of a car. He's not just my co-pilot. He's my reminder that the right life isn't about being normal. It's about being exactly who you are, in exactly the right place, with exactly the right person beside you. If this story moves you, I want you to think about the problem animals in shelters right now, the ones labeled as too much, the ones returned again and again because they don't fit into ordinary lives. Maybe they're not the problem. Maybe they're just waiting for someone who understands that extraordinary souls need extraordinary lives. And if you're someone who's ever felt like you're too much for this world, remember Uka. Remember that somewhere out there is a life that's not just big enough for who you are, it's exactly the right size. It's waiting for you to be brave enough to step off the edge and trust that you were meant to soar. Because sometimes the most grounded thing you can do is learn to fly. And sometimes the most normal thing you can do is be completely, beautifully, impossibly yourself. The sky is big enough for all of us. The question is, are you brave enough to step off the edge?